Ancient history is a time period from the beginning of writing and recorded human history to as far as late antiquity. The word archaeology comes from the Greek word archaeos, which means ancient. Although some archaeologists study living cultures, most archaeologists concern themselves with the distant past. The span of recorded history is roughly 5,000 years, beginning with the Sumerian cuneiform script. Ancient history covered all continents inhabited by humans in the period 3000 BC, AD 500. The three-age system periodized ancient history into the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, with recorded history generally considered to begin with the Bronze Age. The start and end of the three ages vary between world regions. In many regions, the Bronze Age is generally considered to begin a few centuries prior to 3000 BC, while the end of the Iron Age varies from the early 1st millennium BC in some regions to the late 1st millennium AD in others. During the time period of ancient history, the world population was already exponentially increasing due to the Neolithic Revolution, which was in full progress, where in 10,000 BC, the world population stood at 2 million. It rose to 45 million by 3000 BC. By the Iron Age in 1000 BC, the population had risen to 75 million. By the end of the ancient period, in AD 500, the world population is to have stood at 209 million. In 10,500 years, the world population increased by 100 times. The wheels remains one of humanity's greatest inventions. So many advancements can be tracked back to the first step, inventing the wheel and learning how to use it. That is impossible to imagine the world without the wheel. Archaeologists believe that the wheel was invented around 4000 BC, which is just over 6,000 years ago. Of course, circular and wheels-like objects were in use prior to that, but it's only around 4000 BC in Mesopotamia the wheel found its true use. Transportation is the movement of goods and people from one place to another. In ancient times, people crafted simple boats out of logs, rode animals, and later devised vehicles to move from place to place. They use existing waterways or simple roads for transportations. The inventions of wheels made transport faster and easier for humans, and also brought about a major change in the way of living of primitive humans. They could also save a lot of travel time, and dedicate the time towards other useful activities. If you were given a chance to improve on the invention technology, what will be your recommendations be? For me, a car. Why? If I invented a car, I will place solar panels or something that absorbs sunlight so that the air we breathe is carbon dioxide free and there will be no harmful gases anywhere. That would be my suggestion. Thank you.
The steam engine. The ancient invention of steam engine by the hero of Alexandria. Hero Alexandrinus, otherwise known as the hero of Alexandria, was a first Greek mathematician and engineer who is known as the first inventor of the steam engine. His steam-powered device was called the aeolipile, named after Aeolus, god of the wind. The aeolipile consisted of a spear positioned in such a way that it could rotate around its axis. Nozzles opposite each other would expel steam, and both of the nozzles would generate a combined thrust resulting in torque, causing the spear to spin around its axis. The rotation force speed up the spear up to the point where the resistance from traction and air brought it to the stable rotation speed. The steam was created by boiling water under the spear. The boiler was connected to the rotating spear through a pair of pipes that at the same time served as pivots for the spear. The replica of Heron's machine could rotate at 1,500 rounds per minute with a very low pressure of 1.8 pounds per square inch. The remarkable device was forgotten and never used properly until 1577, when the steam engine was invented by the philosopher, astronomer, and engineers Takwaldin. Steam engines made it possible to easily work, live, produce, market, specialize, and viable expand without having to worry about the less abundant presence of waterways. Cities and towns were now built around factories where steam engines served as the foundation of the livelihood of many of the citizens. But steam engines have a lower efficiency as compared to other heat engines. Steam engine uses fossil fuels like coal to generate steam or heat. These fossil fuels are dangerous to the environment as the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere increases, which in turn lead to global warming and climate change.
The printing press. German goldsmith Johannes Gutenberg is credited with inventing the printing press around 1436. Although he was far from the first to automate the book printing process. The printing press is a much more modern invention, dating back to 1436 AC when Johannes Gutenberg, a German goldsmith, invented the machine. However, the art of printing was already present before that. There are traces of wood block printing as early as the 9th century in China. Much later, Korean bookmakers used movable metal types around 100 years before Gutenberg unveiled his grand invention. The printing press allows us to share large amount of information quickly and huge numbers. In fact, the printing press is so significant that it has come to be known as one of the most important inventions of our time. It drastically changed the way society evolved. The printing press revolutionized society by standardizing language, spreading ideas, increasing literacy, and growing the printing industry. The printing press was first developed in Europe by Johannes Gutenberg. It improved upon movable type printing that had become available in Europe in the 15th century, but with an increase in literacy, the more opportunities to own personal religious texts and growth of individual reading. The printing press ultimately undermined the Catholic Church and disrupted the European religious culture by spreading religious knowledge and shifting the power to the people. In the 21st century, anyone doing research on the internet has to be wary of false or inaccurate website. It's possible that the printing press influence sometimes work against education the same way. Mass producing books doesn't improve knowledge if the information in the books is wrong. Printed books could popularize the long-held, inaccurate beliefs, support prejudices, and make errors seem like authoritative facts. Some historians believe that at times printing supported resistance to new ideas and theories rather than encouraging change. While printing went a long way towards standardizing text, it wasn't perfect. Different updated edition of various texts changed as publishers and authors decided what to keep or what to leave out. Even a single print run might change as printers spotted errors and changed the book to correct them.
Magnetic compasses are the most well-known type of compass. They have become so popular that term compass almost always refer magnetic compass, while the design and construction of this type of a compass have changed significantly over the centuries. The concept of how it works has remained the same. Magnetic compasses consist of magnetized needle that is allowed to rotate so it lines up with Earth's magnetic field. Always remember magnetic compass in navigation or surveying, an instrument for determining direction on the surface of Earth by means of a magnetic pointer that aligns itself with Earth's magnetic field. The magnetic compass is the oldest and most popular type of compass and used in different forms in aircraft, ship, and land vehicle and by surveyors. The end point to what are known as magnetic north and magnetic south. Scientists and historians don't know when the principle behind magnetic compasses were discovered. Ancient Greek understood magnetism as early as 2,000 years ago. Chinese scientists may have known that rubbing an iron bar, just a needle with a naturally occurring magnetic called as lodestone, would temporarily magnetize the needle so that it would point north and south. Magnetic compass and navigation or surveying, an instrument for determining direction on the surface Earth by means of magnetic pointer that aligns itself with Earth magnetic field. The magnetic compass an important advance in navigation because allow mariners to determine their direction even clouds obscure their usual astronomical cues as the North Star. It uses a magnetic needle that can turn freely so that it always points to the North Pole of the Earth magnetic field, but is not as accurate as other methods of surveying such as the theodolite surveying. It can be affected by magnetic interference from nearby objects. It can be difficult to use in areas with a lot of vegetation or other obstacles. Thank you for listening.
Stone tools. We are aware that stone tools was used to make weapons to find plants and animals that they are going to consume for them to survive. But the risk of this or negative impact is that the extinction of plants and animals and the forest. The next one is infrastructures. For example, the irrigations. Irrigations can become waterlogged, creating soil conditions that poison plant roots through anaerobic decomposition, so it can harm plant growth. Another one is the bridge. During the construction period, lake ecosystems may suffer decrease in water exchange, habitat destruction, biological reductions, increase in suspended solid and water quality pollution. The last one is roads. Roads can cause pollution, and exposure to pollution can increases the risk of respiratory infections, heart disease, and lung cancer. In short, it is harmful to our health. Again, these are the risks or negative impacts from the inventions or technological developments in ancient world. That's all. Thank you.